Let's go now to a spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Tal Heinrich is joining us. You've also seen Tal here on TBN, producer, anchor extraordinaire, and she's with us now to break down the situation between Israel and Iran. Tal, great to have you with us. I know, hey, you're a spokesperson for the Prime Minister's office, of course. I know there are some very serious deliberations right now happening in the war cabinet. What can you tell us right now about Israel's potential response? Obviously, you can't get too much in detail, but it seems that this story isn't over in the wake of last night's attack.
Right. You are correct, Eric. So the war cabinet, just as we speak right now, finished, I guess, a few moments ago, another meeting following yesterday's unprecedented attack by Iran, which was met by an unprecedented response by Israel, the United States, and other partners, the UK, France, and regional partners. I just heard the IDF spokesperson speaking also in the last hour, saying that Iran launched over 60 tons of explosives our way. Over 300 explosive drones and ballistic missiles and cruise missiles, and 99% of which were repelled, intercepted. Very few missiles eventually managed to cross into our territory, which is really incredible. And it speaks volumes to the phenomenal cooperation that we saw last night and high preparedness. We are still prepared, both defensively and offensively. And again, to your question, all I can say is that there's not going to be any taking chances on Israel's security, not when it comes to Hamas and Gaza, and not when it pertains to Iran. 100 ballistic missiles targeting us from Iran is not going to become in any way the new normal. Be sure of that. So the war cabinet, everyone's making considerations right now. We're taking into account various factors, of course, and consulting with allies, our best friends, the United States. We share concerns, we take advice, but eventually Israel will decide how it wants to move forward. How we would like to operate. The Prime Minister underscored this concept that by which we act, which is if anyone is trying to hurt us, if anyone is threatening to hurt us, we will hurt them. And I think Iran got the message with the strong response it met last night, and we'll make sure it gets the message.
How important was it for Jordan to step up, for Saudi Arabia to step up? Tal, I think a lot of people might have been surprised, but if you're watching the region very closely like you do, of course, you know that the Sunni Arab nations like Jordan, like Saudi Arabia, like Egypt, like the UAE, are highly concerned about the Iranian regime and the threat it poses to them. So how heartening was that, and how encouraging was that for Jordan in particular to step up and shoot down some of these incoming projectiles that were headed for Israel?
So regional partners were indeed involved. I'm not going to speak to the scope of their involvement or who exactly was involved, and we'll leave that to them. What I can say is that anywhere you look around the region, Eric, and you know that, you reported that many times, where you see bloodshed, you see terrorism, you see troublemaking, you see chaos, you see the footprints of Iran. And not only in our region, also if you look, to Ukraine, European soil, you'll find Iranian drones there. The same explosive drones that were sent our way are the same drones that the Ukrainian people are suffering from. So last night also underscored the fact, once again, if somebody hasn't realized that yet, that Iran is not just a problem to Israel's security. Iran is a problem to the free world, to the civilized world. Iran is, we see them for what they are. This is why they call us, Israel, the small Satan, and the United States, the great Satan, because we know what they are. And yesterday we sent them a very strong message, don't mess with us. Don't mess with the free world. We know what you are. You are a dangerous regime that puts the notion of annihilating a sovereign state before taking care of your own civilians.
Yeah. Tal, great point. Look, you split your time between New York and Tel Aviv, so you've got your finger on the pulse of not only Israel, but the United States. Are you concerned that there may be in some quarters any sort of slippage in support for Israel? Do you get a sense that we're seeing that a bit as anti-Semitism, of course, is on the rise? We've got kind of an isolationist wing here in the United States as well. How concerning is that? That, look, the U.S., obviously Israel's greatest ally. Is there a concern that maybe in some quarters, certainly not all, certainly not among our audience at TBN and evangelicals in the U.S. and around the world, but is there a concern that in some quarters there is some lagging support?
So a few things to break down here. Over the past 24 hours, I can tell you that Israelis did not feel any kind of isolation. Thankfully, if you saw, maybe follow, I think the foreign minister, Israel Katz, he retweeted on his Twitter feed every kind of, a statement of support that came from world leaders. And that was truly remarkable to see the outpouring of support. And, unfortunately, I think we haven't seen this kind of support since in the days after October 7th. What we say is that this support should be consistent, not only when we are very, very clear victims, but also when we come out of this victorious. Because moral clarity is on our side. We're fighting the evil forces that even different powers in the region understand are the dark evil forces, the Iranian axis of evil, trying to take us all back to the darkness of the Middle Ages. We want to move forward. We never seek wars. We seek peace. But again, if someone is trying to hurt us, then we will act. We will defend ourselves for many, many years. Throughout history, from biblical times to modern times, there were these people who tried to annihilate the Jewish people. They wanted, and they still want in Tehran to wipe us off the map. What's different now is that we have a country and we're able to defend ourselves. And some people out there, they might not like it. The Jews are now able to fight back, and we don't just die, but we cherish life, and we will continue to prevail, because this is, we prevailed for thousands of years, and there's a reason why we managed to survive after so many hardships, including yesterday.
Yeah. Tal, you said it, moral clarity. That's what's needed right now. It's a battle between good and evil, and Israel is on the side of good. And by the way, folks, if you had any doubt about any threat, any sort of threat that Iran poses to the United States, in the Iranian ideology, not of the Iranian people, but Iran's leadership, it's Israel that is, in their words, the little Satan, and America is the great Satan. That's why some have called Israel the canary in the coal mine, so to speak, the first line of defense for Western civilization. Tal, we've got about a minute left. Could you break down real quick for every American, every Christian, why this fight is so important and why we can't bury our heads in the sand when Israel's being attacked?
Because it's not just our fight. Again, it's the civilized world against barbarian forces. Iran has been threatening the world, not just Israel, and destabilizing the world through its proxies. If it's the Houthis in Yemen that pose a maritime threat, a piracy threat to global commerce, each one of us is paying more for certain goods because of that. You have Hezbollah, you have Palestinian Islamic Jihad, you have Hamas, you have the same militias in Iraq and Syria that attack U.S. military bases attacking us as well. We should send a united, unequivocal message to Iran and make sure that they don't become any more dangerous, by the way, from what they are today, and never allow them to acquire nuclear weapons. They should be sanctioned, and the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, should be defined by everyone in the free world as a terrorist organization.
Tal, great breakdown as always. I know you are very busy right now, so we truly appreciate you joining us. Spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Tal Heinrich, our good friend Tal. We will see you back here very soon. God bless, stay safe. And let's head now back
Thank you as always, Eric.
Thank you, Tal.